Hi, Alith Cyer.
Hi, Nelson.
People just don't have money. Have you realized that?
Yeah.
People don't have like. I was here. I wanted to go to the Daniel show. I was with 5 of my friends, and we didn't have a car. Like there was one tiny car, small one for one of our friends, and we couldn't fit in. We had to order Shilana. I was like, I told them, guys, what the heck? Why are we not having more cars?
This is why you see some people like making tattoos of a wealthy person. Yeah, because money is at a certain source. And I even had a situation where somebody told me I'm not even the age of my last born.
Wow!
So-
Was this during an argument or something?
I think we're debating about
About certain
issue,
issues.
yeah.
Hi, Alith Cyer.
Hi, Nelson.
This is sounding so formal. I'm going to pretend that I've never met you. That would be really interesting. You are my guest today in About Nothing. For someone who saw a compilation, a writer, and all, I think why are you in a podcast about nothing with all the things that you have done? I've looked at your profile.
I think to all the things we achieve in life, and it's nothing to the humans we are. Like, all in all, we have to live.
We have to live and be. You can adjust your mic a bit so that it's this way. Yep,
Yeah.
good.
So I think
Yeah.
all in all is we have to live. All these things at the end of the day mean nothing.
Huh. That is why you're probably in a podcast about nothing. You are. I met you first in Kampala, actually, out of all places, because I was in Kampala. I don't know, for a visa process or whatever, and I made a shout out on my Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, I'm in Kampala. I want to meet." And then we ended up meeting, and we had lunch together.
Dinner.
Dinner. Yes, sorry, dinner.
Yes,
At the
Acacia
Acacia
Mall.
Acacia Mall. When I was in Kampala, I just hung out around that Acacia. But then that's when we met. You kind of reached out to me, and we met, and you're telling me about your writers writing fellowship. You're young. I don't know, like you're a young person. As same as yesterday, I had Newball here. She was also like very young and kind of accomplished. But you tell me about yourself. You're a writer, poet, activist, and actually an award-winning poet or a writer. Tell me a little bit just about yourself, who you are, and what do you do.
I am so many things.
Oh, this is already good.
Yeah, so I believe I am so many things, and I attach myself to living and writing. So, despite the fact that I had the privilege to be in the technical team to the peace process, despite the fact that I have the privilege to be in other policy reviewing committees, for what I so much dedicate myself to is writing, whether I facilitate, whether I mediate, yeah. Whatever I do, I just, at the end of the day, I feel like I am a writer.
You're a writer primarily.
Yeah.
You have been in so many processes. You're saying you are part of the technical team for the peace, for the peace process, right? That is where in Addis.
No, I
yeah.
went to the one of Khartoum,
Yeah.
and then most of the times I had been like on the ground just doing paperwork, maybe with the civil society. But I think the one I had been closely engaged in is the one of Khartoum.
That's and I think that was the final one before the
Yeah.
signing. Yeah. How does it feel? Like I have not been attached to any peace process. I tweeted, but like, how does it feel like being inside the?
I think it just it's a process that was hectic, that was so isolating sometimes, because I even had a situation where somebody told me I'm not even the age of my last born.
Wow! Was this during an argument or something?
I think we're debating about
About
certain
certain
issue,
issues, yeah.
that's supposed to be. And I told him, if this is going to be done, I myself, live alone you, I will be so ashamed to tell my children I was part of this.
So you were telling him about some of the provisions.
Some things that were written, and these were so selfish. They were so selfish to be said by South
So
Sudanese who are-
you were telling him basically like
Yes, I was saying that we cannot suggest these things because this looks selfish, and we cannot be proud to tell our children one day we had been the ones who did the technical thing for this. So the guy literally shut me up and said, you're not even the age of my last born. Yeah,
and
so
how does that? Is it intimidating?
it felt so intimidating. But I had to sit back and say, this is someone who thinks contributing to South Sudan was according to age, was according to him being in that time when South Sudan is believed. There are some people who attach themselves thinking that they are so closer to South Sudan because at the moment when South Sudan was being liberated, they were there. But I think for us, this generation where we are now, we are the ones really going through the second phase of
The second.
liberation. Yeah. And we are trying to liberate the country from even the liberations we have been through, because their achievements, our elders were to liberate us from that, and they have achieved it. We are so proud of them for that, but can they now guide us to this other phase of
Do you think that
liberation?
generation feels at times that we are not doing any sacrifice? Is there a feeling that we are having it easy? We're not working hard for this country like they did?
Uh, they do acknowledge the fact that we are growing up at a fast rate.
Yeah.
They do acknowledge the fact that we are doing things differently. They do acknowledge the fact that we are coming with a very creative energy and force. But I think their fear is the fact that we are products of different countries. So I think
And
they
that
are
comes with
putting in
different
mind.
expectations, yeah.
Yeah, they think we are just excited kids
Yeah.
that are trying to bring in different things, which is very okay because at the end of the day, that's why we have them. For these intergenerational conversations, for us to blend the what South Sudan needs. Yeah, so I think it's them sitting with us and us telling them our experience and them telling us their experience to come with at least things that can make a South
Is
Sudan
that
very
happening?
well.
Is that intergenerational conversations happening?
I think at personal levels it could be happening, but at a bigger level, this was supposed to be done by our government, not even organizations. We could say we are doing it at our organization, but
But it needs
how
a
how
national.
enough is it? How
I mean, there is a
how
lot of like.
broad is it?
I mean, you remember the minister who was sacked? I know he was not sacked because he's young. Of course, they have political differences. But the guy is just like just 1 month old into the job of being the minister of information. We're talking about Paulino,
Yeah,
and
no good.
yeah, and he was like he. So,
Uh, I think Polino, since he's
uh,
for Central Equatoria,
yeah, yeah.
I believe, and maybe in Central Equatoria, it's for me. I always believe like the government is like a club, and if you are ready to dance to their music,
Yeah.
you enter and
So
dance.
so you
But
think
you cannot go
you
and
think
play
he
your
was
own
not
music.
dancing? He was not
I
dancing.
think he just wanted to play his own music in a club where there's already a bigger
But
music.
why can't we play different music in the
Uh,
club?
we can play a different music, but it depends on the rules of that music,
Look at me
of
right
that
now.
club.
I'm Kwaja. You've known me for some
Yes.
time. Do you think my music vibes well if I get into the government? How long will I last?
Uh, it depends.
With the
Even at
current tone.
Tanweg, when he was out, he was beating the drums of truth through his articles.
Hey, now my podcast is getting in trouble. But like yeah. So
No, but him beating the drums of truth. When he got inside, he saw, do I need to adjust my drums? Do I need to beat the drums according to this song that is in the
but
club?
it's also very reasonable that government is not a place of activism. Is that a fair statement?
Um, there could be a political activist,
Yes, but like I cannot be in government and say like
but I also
the system is this and that, but I'm part of that system already. So I need to speak as though I'm running something.
I think the best example that can come in here is Thomas Sankara.
Hmm.
And Thomas Sankara, when he knew he was a citizen that wanted change,
Yeah.
he knew that he wanted to see a revolution, he wanted to see things different. I believe he did not make noise, he just got into the system and did what he could do to change until the day he took over the government.
But how will you do this? How will you do this in South Sudan? Like, there is so many powers. Even good intentions alone are not enough. You really need to have good alliances. You need to build
Um,
networks and what. How will you go to the generals and tell them like, hey, I am here now. I want to show you how it's done.
I think it's all about we are at the prime time now as South Sudanese. We are still transitioning, and I think this is why we are so disorganized. You know, when you're shifting into a new
Yeah,
house, you might find things at the gate, things at this, until these things are organized. So I think the priority now should be building our institutions. When we build institutions, we get to know which institution we can serve in best to make change in South Sudan.
from the way you're speaking, you're running for office, right? Yeah. No, no, no. I mean, come on.
I
Like
am
in
a
one of your
writer.
diaries,
I
in
am
one
a
of your
writer.
diaries, come on. I know in one of your diaries, there is something
Um,
that says like, I want to get into politics.
no, in one of my diaries, there's something that says I'm going to build a nation in a book. I can write it, I think.
No, but books are very revolutionary. I mean, you read in like the American Revolution, the American kind of like the Civil War in the US. So there is this lady who wrote, her name is Harriet Beecher Stowe. I think probably I'm mispronouncing it. She wrote this book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. And in the book, by then, kind of the US hadn't adopted the idea of like slavery was still viewed as a thing that should be done. But then she writes about this book, she writes about the slave family, and she writes about them in a very humane way until everyone else goes and reads this book. And then the story said that like when she met Abraham Lincoln, then Abraham Lincoln, oh, is this the little woman who started the big war? Because that her writing about slavery made slavery very undesirable and led to divisions in the society that people now fought over slavery to some extent.
So I just think our pens have the power to form the walls we want. That's one. And I also believe that we have the power to create the country or the communities that we want to
What
have.
writers like musicians and what they kind of and poets and what they speak for the conscience of the society. I mean, one Fela Kuti, if you hear some of his music, he was singing by then, and he was very political. I mean, people think that some music is political now. Fela Kuti was very political. He sings about colonial mentality. I don't know whether that is Babangida or Abacha, like really beat him up and stuff like that. How do you think writing and expression art should always be political, or
Uh,
can someone just thinks about a woman's behind?
for me, I use sometimes romance to describe politics. Sometimes, and we should not even just go far. We have Emmanuel Kembe.
Yeah,
If we have serious political analysts who look into that song of Murkab
Murkab,
Bileglek,
yeah, Murkab
you,
Bilekle.
you find that the whole political situation of
It's
South
being
Sudan is
described.
in that song, you know. And I think if you look at Adija,
Yeah,
Adija describes
I- he
everything,
describes a lot of.
but the question now is how much attention do we give these people to
Mm.
listen to them? How much advocacy is added to that, or how many platforms do we give this kind of advocacies? I think that kind of
That kind of.
advocacy.
As a young person, but you're involved in writing, you're involved in that. But also you're a young person, you experience all the struggles and the stuff that young people struggle with. What do you think? What are what are the struggles or the things that are competing in a young person's mind?
I think most of us young people differ. Like from my village, this the things a young person goes through during the day. If it's a man, it is just rearing the cows, milking them, bringing them home, and then thinking of how many girlfriends he's going to have in the evening, the night lugara,
Uh,
you know. And then if I'm the girl, I will just worry about the chores, and then worry about how long I'm going to go to fetch water, collect firewood, cook, and all this. And then, but for now, with the education part, and I think sometimes people worry of the distance they have to travel to
mm.
school, and then sometimes we worry how long as a girl, how long am I going to spend in school? Because sometimes in the process, get pregnant, early marriage, and all these stuff. So these are things
So,
young
so, so,
women go through.
so you think like the issues are evolving?
I think it just depends on the environment. And then for here, Juba, I think most of our issues as young women or young people, especially women,
Mm.
young men, of course, most of them are hustlers. We know that. But for the young girl that has not yet gotten into the world of hustling, a woman that does not know how to make money, a woman that does not know how to survive on even her ideas. Because
Mm-mm.
some women have so much power in them, but they don't know how to use that to sustain a living, you know. So I think
Is it
most of our
is it they don't know, or also the opportunities sometimes not available?
sometimes opportunity, sometimes they also don't know.
I know of a story. Someone told me that a guy went to the employer and told him to fire his wife.
A guy went to the employer and told
Yeah,
him
yeah,
to
told the
fire.
employer to fire his wife.
So whose wife? That wife
No,
of
no,
the
his
man.
own wife. Like, if you're my wife, I go to the employer, I tell him, fire you.
I think this we have so many men like that. We have so many men who think when they get married, the wife should stay home and he will do the rest of the things. And that's why we should always have partners that understand our journeys and understand it's not bad to be a
It's
housewife
not
if
bad to
that's
be a
what you
housewife. Yeah,
want.
that's not. Yeah,
If that's what you
yeah.
want. And but if you don't want to be a housewife and you marry someone that wants you to remain a housewife, that's going to maybe lead to a divorce or a miserable marriage.
What do you want to be?
I cannot be a housewife. I can be a
half of
wife
the
at
half of the
home.
South Sudanese men just drop out of this podcast.
I think I can be a wife, yes,
Yeah.
because even my own mom, with the level of education she had and everything, she still remained a wife at home. But that did not allow her to kill the career she was
That
following
she
as
was
a
following.
wife. Yeah.
I was joking, that not joking. I was actually joking and partly serious. I was telling someone I want to be a house husband and just like be a blogger. I
It
just
could be a
I just be a
choice.
blogger and what. Do you think the society is ready for idea of a house husband that takes care of the kids and
And he's at home.
yeah?
I think at our prime time now as young people, we decide what society South Sudan should have in 10 years.
But like, no, can I be a house husband and still be accepted in the community to go and give speeches and what?
Well, it depends
My
on which
wife is the one
community.
who bought.
South Sudan has so many communities.
Tell me about yours.
Well, in my community, I doubt if they will accept you, but there will be
You come from
rumors.
something Mayardit, right?
Yes, I come from, but my family is shared it.
Your family is charity.
Yeah.
What's up with the deed?
Uh,
The deed is something. It's an honor or what?
Me now, I have my sister called Alindit. So who is born first?
So the
Because we name
deed.
the same names
So
over
deed is a
the
senior.
one, yeah, the
Uh,
one born before. So for me, I'm Alinte, but I have a sister called Alindit. So I think for my family is because my granddad is the elder chair, so they call him chair. And then the fact that it's a spiritual, just like what Tanjiro was saying. I
uh,
have I have a spirituality. I believe in. I'm not a Christian, so our people believe in the star. So chair is a star, the
ah,
chair that we name.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that star that we believe in, and that grandfather being named chair, and then did because he's the first chair in the family.
So that kind of
So did is
there
just who's
is
born before.
a lot of spirituality in the Dinka culture, right?
Okay.
Probably Dinka culture is not homogeneous. That's actually what I realized. Is that someone said like, "Hey,
The
you're from
Dinka.
Dinka." Like, there is so much. Like, someone was telling me about a sub tribe or something called Atut.
Yes, my maternals.
So your maternal is from Atut.
Yeah.
So like, is Atut Dinka?
They are Dinka, but they have their own
They have
language.
their own thing.
Their own language, their
Now,
own one.
someone was telling me about that, and I was like, someone was telling me about Atut. I was like,
They speak three languages. They speak their own language. They speak Nuer. They speak Dinka.
come on, these
So
guys are
they.
good at it. Like, so when you talk to someone from Atut,
Mhm.
you talk to them, they can speak Dinka with you, but they have their
But they
own thing.
can, if the two of us are at wood and somebody this side is not at wood,
Uh.
we could speak with them in Dinka and later go gossip about them in the same
Oh,
platform with our own words.
isn't that very interesting? But also, someone was also telling me about, like, there's some tribes, for example, there's some families that migrated from the Nuer and that stayed in the Dinka place for so long that they're now like considered Dinka, or there's also other tribes from other families.
My family is an example. Like,
Your family is an
yeah,
example
we
of that.
even name Nuer. We have like uncles called Nuer, brothers called Nuer. So Nuer is actually a name
And
because
then because
yeah,
of that,
because of the historical.
because of the historical, we also have that in my place. Like, for example, I could be. So there is a place called Mundu. There is a certain tribe, but from my mother's place, some people come from Mundu. Like, I know my mom was telling me about her great grandmother. she was she's not Nuer, she's called Kiden. But then probably this story, I'm probably misconstrued, but let me give you the bone of the story. The other things, so that if someone from my family is fact checking this, they're not on my case. So I understand, like, they used to do raids by then. So they did a raid and went to another family, another clan or tribe, and they hijacked, they probably chased and hijacked the women and some kid. And so this woman was walking, this young lady, and someone was like, we're so tired, we can leave her. And then I think one of our great grandfathers was saying like, oh, no, I will take her. So he put his hand on her and he took her. And when she came, she grew up and then she was married. When she was married, now this person became her family. And that is how she kind of came. And by then her tribe becomes this. But also we have a lot of this happening around.
We have so many.
So I think tribes are not as clear boxes as people make them seem. It's very
Yeah, it is true.
like right now when once you intermarry, tribes become very different. People actually choose at times.
Yeah, I think for our communities, most of the times people just want this for pride. Like for the Dinka,
Yeah.
they don't want to let go of their cultures because they feel like this is my identity.
Yeah.
This is my sense of belonging. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And if you take this, they feel like you have taken away their power. So they feel like maybe because if you look at the marriage culture,
Yeah.
how people, maybe if someone is now paying 100 cows for my family, that man cannot pay the 100 cows alone.
So it's a communal
Uncles,
thing.
yeah, uncles, friends, and even when now that friend of his is getting married, he contribute the same number his friend contributed. So it's more of just like we are borrowing within us. We are, it's just a culture of sharing. It's a culture. It's something that brings people together, and especially if that lady you are marrying has the qualities that
Yeah.
qualify her to be a beautiful or good woman for them. Somebody will even pay more because out of excitement, she needs to be part of us. So these are cultures, and the saddest part is when sometimes people think that it's out. Though there are people now trying to make things look commercial, but that's not the real idea.
No,
So I
no,
think,
so dowry was instituted first.
yeah.
You are very tall. Like stand up. Our camera can kind of like show that. You are. I don't know if like our camera person can say like this is your height. I, I'm, I am not any higher than
So tall.
yeah. So there's and Adion, we were chatting and you're saying like your height, it features a lot. It's something that's just there. How does your height feature in your character or even your interaction with people?
To be honest, growing up was not fun with it because I grew up in the north,
In,
the
in
Arab
Sudan, in the
world,
Khartoum, yeah.
yeah. So from baby class, I'd never been the height of my age.
So you,
So,
so you are like,
yeah.
and do people think that this person is just old, he repeated class or what?
No, I think the Sudanese understand,
Yeah, yeah.
but the issues they make fun of it.
Ah,
Sometimes basarwali, what,
yeah.
amud
So like
kahraba,
people kind of like make fun
yeah,
of that.
because I think it's just something to do with the fun
Yeah.
they find out of it. Sometimes someone can throw a word, but they don't mean it. But actually, it's
It,
just,
it, it really has an internal
but
thing.
it can hurt you yourself. But for them, maybe they might not mean it. But because they found the society making fun of some people, so I think from baby class, I did not have a chance to look my age. I did not have a chance to appear the age group. And this, I think, had influence because I started interacting with my height mates. And height
Ah,
mates is now my elders.
you see on your elders.
Yeah.
So do you think you grew up faster because of that? You had to handle different things.
Yeah, there was a time I found an uncle when I was with my dad. And when my dad said, "This is a lady, you recognize her," my uncle said, "Oh, kids have grown so fast." And then my father said, "Just like pumpkins." So I think, so I think this is having friends that are older makes you already think like them. That's why sometimes they say birds of a feather.
Yeah.
So I think,
I think that's the thing. We
yeah.
went together with you to Yei to do. We did some awareness program there, and by the time we're in Yay, you're already known in Yay.
Yeah.
You already known in Yay. That actually really shows like the influence and stuff like that. A lot of people have this issue of like, I know, like it's features. Some women are like, I cannot date someone shorter than me. What's up with all this thing?
Um, the family where I come from, even when you're the shortest man in the family and you bring a short woman, they will despise you.
So even the
So
shortest
they will-
person needs to bring a tall woman.
Yeah, they will tell you what happened, you know. So they expect you to marry a tall woman. So, and then for me, I think the whole thing is, do you
Right.
align, yes, with that person? You might be two different people. You think differently, you view life in a different way. So even if he's tall like what, and you know,
So for you, it's like it's about kind of like, is there synergy? Is there all those
yes,
kind of things and stuff like that, so that it can.
because that height will not matter one of the days. There are days you need someone that you can reason with. You need someone that you can see life in the same way. Because there is someone who thinks life is just about giving back,
Mm.
and there are some people who feel like even if I don't give back, I'm leaving an impact in this community, even
But
if I die today.
but you're okay with giving birth, right?
Of course, I want to have children. But that does not mean it should be the priority.
No, of course, it's children is a very
The
interesting
only,
topic. Yeah, people talk about, like in South Sudan, if you say you want to have 2 kids, people are like,
my own mom had 9,
and my mom had 8.
but her mother had 15. My mom's mom
Wow,
had 15
it's a lot of
children.
work.
Yeah, but I think it's because she had been giving birth to
Twins.
twins throughout. Yeah, so I think that's how.
But once you're in a family of a lot of people just come with different characters. Like even in our family, like I have a sister of mine. Her name is Diana. She's very smart. She's smart in talk. Like even my dad cannot cane her. My dad wants to do. She just like say stuff. Hey, hey, hey. She gets herself out of things. She's just like her. She's like a con person. She can make you give her money without you knowing.
Yeah, true.
And people just come with different with different characteristics. When my younger brother, he's very emotional. Like he's not like me. Like he's known by everyone.
Yeah, we have families like that. I think families are just full of different people raised by one person or two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
South Sudanese parents say like, "Oh, give birth to many so that if some fail, at least you have."
at least if one fails, the others.
Come on, like
There's a
what kind of a
probability.
gamble is this? Why don't you just have few and then raise them well? Like put your energy.
I think the issue is we had not been taught parenting. Most of the times, our family had been maybe running from some wars.
Yeah.
They did not have time for us. Some of our fathers were doing some things, whether they were contributing in any form of way in the war. There is a way they had to leave us home to grow. So I think it's just the gap. The gap did not give time for parenting, time for guiding children. Yeah. So I think that
I
could
think
change.
definitely. I think a lot of the South Sudanese parent with money. Hey, here, this is I paid the school fees.
Exactly. We know so many kids, especially the school where I went to, there was so many kids that were just being paid money. And I think even me, like my school fees just
Sorry,
sent.
that's how producers sneaking in water.
So I think that's how my school fees also used to be sent, and I would be with my siblings.
Yeah.
Like just take care of my siblings there, and my parents know we are okay. Yeah.
What's up with this Juba thing? What do you think about this Juba? Juba people, like there's a lot of craziness in Juba, right?
But I think because our parents, if they stay with us in the place for school, we will not find food because they have to hustle.
Yeah. So there is a lot of sacrifice
Yeah.
also that they're
So
putting
our
in.
parents, not like they're happy doing it, but they have to provide. They have to.
I think I never spent
plan.
even like 2 years consistently with my dad. He's always like in a different place.
He's trying to find. I think our parents have just sacrificed their youthful life for us, and I think the best way would have been for elders to retire.
Come on, they still
Like
have a
just
lot of.
retire and then give us chance to serve them again. Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
the
come on. They
best.
still have some.
They could be home
I've seen there is a
advisors, tell
picture
us how
trending
to do
online
it.
with of an MP, very elderly lady with a cane, and people are just.
She's actually my relative.
You,
She's my
is it
relative.
relative?
Yeah, and she's actually now going to school. She's achieving her degree now. Yeah, she went back to school. She's actually one of the first female generals to rebel during those days to fight for liberation. So after the lady of Lex State, she's
Yeah,
called Agum something.
yeah.
After Agum, I think she's the second person who was in front line. Yeah, so after they came back, she went back to school from the beginning.
Wow.
She got her diploma in Makerere. She came back here to Juba University to get her degree.
What kind of
She's the
resilience?
mother of Agel Machar.
She's a mother of a girl, Michelle.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
But that's interesting. But that's the problem with social media culture. Just take a picture and forgets everything.
don't understand
There's no
the whole
context, like
story.
so people don't understand, like
Yeah.
how
But
did this
she's
person get
actually,
there?
for me, she's the picture of power of a woman in my community. You know, she's someone who did not only
Yeah.
just remain to be a general, to say I'm a general. She went back to
She
school.
went back to school and did her
She's doing her things. And I think she had said she doesn't want to be serving again.
serve.
That's how the lady that her daughter, who was suggested by other people, was actually sacked
the first
after
list.
before she was sworn in. So I think it's just sometimes South Sudanese get so reactionary and don't understand the whole thing.
But I think people do it for the fun of social media. Yeah, they want to get
so
some.
I think most of the times these days we make South Sudan look social media. Yeah.
So do you think that is the undoing of this generation, where we are so
I
much
think
into
our
social media
elders
until we
just
forget
our
the
elders
depth?
contributed to it because they're not giving us something to do. So
Ah.
if we are bored, we will do it to just
We will just do it.
So I
to-
think it is just wasting our creative energy and force because there's nothing we're investing it on. And if social media is where we can invest our creative energy that has nothing to do with, then
But
we
you can also
continue.
be a bit creative on social media. Like, I mean, this podcast might go on Facebook, so you
Yeah.
can do stuff. But like, yeah, but I agree with you. There is a lot of wasting there.
Yeah, but I think also not everybody, even in your family, not everybody will have focus, not everybody will have purpose. You know, some people are pushed, some people just wake up like that and do things. Some people are slow to learning, some people take time to grow, even if they are aging. Yeah.
You see, you're saying that our elders should retire and give us time. What about money? We need money. Like, one of the things that are the biggest problem of the youth that I see, people just don't have money. Have you realized that?
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
don't
that's
like. I was here. I wanted to go to the Daniel show. I was with 5 of my friends, and we didn't have a car. Like, there was one tiny car, small one for one of our friends, and we couldn't fit in. We had to order Shulana. I was like, I told them, guys, what the heck? Why are we not having more cars? Why is everyone broke?
I think money could be at a certain source, and there is this. This is why you see some people like making tattoos of a wealthy person. Yeah, because money is at a certain source and angle, and it's only in that angle that you get that money from.
So do you think money here, you have to at least chip a little bit of your soul, or go and bow down to certain
I
quote unquote
think
mini gods for you to get,
I think here,
or at least that's one of the ways of how people get money?
I think there are 3 or more ways to get money in Juba. Either begging or asking someone that has the money, or creatively getting that money,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
might be a bit slow.
A bit slow, take
Yeah.
time.
Or cunning around, being a broker. You know, I think these are the.
This
least-
cunning around and being broker, how does it work? Is you just
I think there are so many people that have forged contracts, have cheated some business people. There, so many things happen, and people end up being rich like that. We know some people who write projects in the name of street children, go to the president, get money, and they're driving Hammers with that money. Wow. So that is, for me, it's not just broker. I think every business person is a broker, but this is now being cunning or a cheat.
do you think a lot of that is seeping into the youth?
Yes.
There's a lot of unexplained wealth, if I can say that.
Yeah.
There is a lot of unexplained wealth.
Yeah, there is.
I'm
so
not saying
much.
each and every. I'm not saying if you buy a pen or buy an iPhone, we need to know the source of it. That's also too petty. But like, there is a lot of people who just like have too much stuff, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but like, you're like,
True,
You're
true.
not that intelligent. Like
True. And me, I have ever said that
you said that.
women, I looked at someone, I was very frustrated that day. I was pushing things are
Yeah.
going slow, and I looked at the person driving a V8. And the worst part, that person is someone I went to high school with.
Oh.
And that person did not complete the secondary like us, dropped out. And is that person is the one
And it's not
getting
dropped
down
out.
from a
The person did
V8.
not drop out the Bill Gates way or Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and that lady got down from the V8 to come and greet me in my frustrated neighbor.
Were you guys sitting at the tea place or you guys are where? You guys are the broke people place?
No, I think we're just at a certain shop. Most of these
Yeah.
small shops, they call supermarkets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think she was also going to get something. And then, hi, how are you? And you would not ask someone, where did you go to after you dropped out?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're already making it.
Yeah.
That means they did something.
Yeah, yeah.
So you cannot ask again, what next or what happened? But I think we should, what is happening, the problem is a lot of our money is going to the
Yeah, if people,
foreign
yes,
economies.
foreign
That
economy.
is the fear. But if the money was being invested at home, we would say we are going to catch up. But the fear is even foreign businessmen are going to be so empowered to the extent that they might have powers to dismantle South Sudanese.
Because
top
majority of the
businessmen.
business now is owned by the foreign.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with someone
So they
foreign
might
owning something.
decide the
But
future of South
yeah,
Sudan.
yeah, because power is like capitalism
Yeah.
is also power over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know if you have ever gone to Rajaf Road.
No, I
That
haven't.
Rajaf Road is now China and South Sudan.
Wow.
Even signposts are written in Chinese.
I knew how.
So I think
Zambia. I think it's Zambia. Like
Yeah.
Zambia is like the Chinese took over. There's a documentary in
Yeah.
Zambia. Like Chinese even bring their grandmothers or whatever to come and do rare pigs and what.
yeah.
Even supporting political.
And Rajaf, I think, could be the best place for industries in Juba. Yeah. It would be the best, but now China has taken over.
Okay. Anyway, well, I'll need to go and see it now. That's also the difficult part. Like especially the creative industry doesn't have a lot of money. Yeah, that's why if you find like someone is an artist, but they're also an accountant during the day. They're also what like art and creative expression doesn't pay in this country very much.
Yeah.
Unless you praise a politician, which is also another way of making money.
True, true. For me, I think most of the times our arts are our talents, but we need something that gives us money. That is within Africa. That's our reality. Almost all African countries
yeah.
go through this. So that's why even when my parents knew from my primary school that I am a writer, they still kept insisting that I need to be a medical doctor. And now I have to tell people I am a nurse. Mostly.
Yeah, but because you're studying
because I did nursing.
You did nursing, yeah.
Yeah. So now I have to tell people I am a health personnel before I even tell them I'm a writer. So sometimes you even work with someone, they don't know that you write until one of the days they come across your writing and say, hey, I got something with your name.
Are you the one?
So it's like we fail to own this because there's no source.
Yeah, because there's no source in kind of like trying to do. I think being a young person in this country is a very tricky thing. You have to kind of compete with a lot of stuff. Like even like being in your own place. This is a whole difficult thing. Like this, especially in this city. Like yeah, being in your own house. I mean, I've been here since last year. It took me up to now. I don't have my own place. It took my own place. I mean, I don't have a place that I'm renting. It's just taking me out. It's expensive. The other one is far. Then when you're there, like it's odd. Like there's so many factors to consider. It's not given.
I think it could be the same reason, sources of income.
Yeah.
Even if we have the ways to get the money, do we get the opportunity? And the worst part is when you're a girl. Sometimes someone will tell you, if I'm giving you conditions, if you don't be my girlfriend, don't have sex with me, I am not giving you this. And then you just end up giving up on the whole story. If not, you give in. So now you come and weigh your options. Some people.
What is wrong with marrying for money?
If that's what you want, that's not.
Yeah, if someone wants that, like, hey, I've really
Yeah.
Given up on broke ninjas. I just want to marry someone
You
who
have
has
a
money,
choice.
and
You
I
have a
want to.
choice to marry for love. You have a choice to marry for money. You have a choice to marry for family. You have a choice to marry for anything. But if
But
the choice,
why is everyone why are the crusaders of marrying for love pushing it on everyone?
I cannot push something on someone for me myself. Even that's why when people say, women cannot, I cannot tell a woman you need to be a career woman. And this is why the story of Nyalong last time, when other people were trying to exaggerate it, I told some of the BBC reporters that you think you know us so much. That's the problem. Because they are village
Nyalong
kind
is a lady
from,
who was
yeah,
married for
500 cows and so.
500,000, two
And that's
village
not
and
the
something
first
like
story.
that.
Even in my family, they go beyond that sometimes, which is, but people should know that we have the village kind of mentors, we have the career kind of mentors. Because if I am grown in the village, my kind of mentor would be a woman like Nyalong. Because after I age 18, what next? I'm not at
Because
school.
you will see her as the epitome of the success in
Yeah,
that
and
within the domain
imagine
of where
every
you are.
musician singing about me, the whole community talking
That
about
is
me.
success.
Yeah, that is success to me if I am just in that.
How do we then tell those ladies that there is more than the Nyalong as success?
This is why now there is schools in the village. This is why now I think also educated girls from those communities should go back and say, hey, I am one of you and this is why how far I have gone. So I think there is need for more
Do you think
platforms for
we're
inspiration.
changing that process? We want we want the finish line for every
Person to
person to
be
be a
career.
PhD or to be a career or to be a what without showing the role models?
For me, I think not everybody should be, even graduates, not everybody is supposed to graduate. There are some people who just want to do business. Even in my family, there are people who are making a lot of
Are you
money,
okay
but
with
they
that?
didn't go to
Do you
school.
think that's an okay way?
For me, I might want to go to school. My other sibling might say I don't like school. I want to
No,
be a
but like
career.
education is more than that. Do you not want them to be able to
Education is not
express
education is
themselves
not
at a
only
community
just
meeting?
going to school. Some people just read alone. Like for example, Dr. Majanga got he just went to school recently, but those days he was studying in the bush through his own books. He was self-teaching himself. So I think education is not. Sometimes even P8 is enough.
Oh.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes P8 is enough.
And the flip side, do you think there are a lot of people who are educated but not learned?
So we have so many of them. We have so many
What is the
graduates.
problem with that?
I think it's just some people because they went to school late, so they are just gambling with class, and some people because they are fearing change, they don't want to open up. Someone will say, "This is the culture I grew up in, and I don't want to change it. This is a white man's education," and So I think it's just
Yeah,
fear of
and I think
change
also
and
that's also a way of
exposure.
doing it.
And also, someone who was just studying in their village, and you are taking them because most of them come from the village to Juba University. That's okay. Not only Juba University. There are so many universities, but Juba University is at least the mother university that we know. And after that, they are not exposed.
So that kind of
Yeah,
creates
I think
also.
our people need to be exposed to know that there is beyond their community.
Yeah.
Some people they come from the same village, and most of their friends
Yeah.
are people from that same village.
So it doesn't create for
Yeah,
them.
you cannot have people from your same village as friends in a university because you need to look for your employers in the university. You need to look for your partners, for your
And that's why
colleagues and
exposure
everything.
matters.
Yeah.
Alith, we are about to kind of like, we're coming to wind up, and my producer's telling me about my time and what stuff like that. What is it for you after this? Like, what is the thing what should we be looking forward to from you in the coming few months, few years? Early on, you didn't rule out running for office. What else can we?
I think I am more of in the literacy and intellectual world, and I am so much of a literacy person. And currently, I am working on a project called A Queen's Voice. It's more of the beauty queens. Most of them just end up getting pregnant before handing over the
After the
crown.
pageant or
They
handing
don't
it.
have so much to offer. So I am asking, can we offer them space to be trained, to be mentored, to be told how to write their projects, how to grow, how to use their voices and their crowns to build their own communities that, because with that crown, they're the leaders of that community.
So
How do
that
they use
gives them
it?
voice and a platform to do more than
Yeah.
just being a
So
beauty
that
queen.
is for the writers writing fellowship.
And you're a beauty queen in your own right.
it, I don't want to run the whole show. I want to look for a queen herself to run the whole project. So it's going to be distant.
Actually, link up with one of my friends. I have a few friends who are queens.
Yeah. So I would be happy to work with them and see this project grow at a distant level. And then for my writings, I had been reserving so many of my writings because I feel like the environment is not willing to listen to them right now. So I am just training other writers. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now.
Alith, thank you for being in a podcast about nothing.
Thank you for hosting me for nothing.
Hi, Alith Cyer.
Hi, Nelson.
People just don't have money. Have you realized that?
Yeah.
People don't have like. I was here. I wanted to go to the Daniel show. I was with 5 of my friends, and we didn't have a car. Like there was one tiny car, small one for one of our friends, and we couldn't fit in. We had to order Shulana. I was like, I told them, guys, what the heck? Why are we not having more cars?
This is why you see some people like making tattoos of a wealthy person. Yeah, because money is at a certain source. And I even had a situation where somebody told me I'm not even the age of my last born. You know?
Wow. So, was this during an argument or something?
I think we were debating about
certain
issue,
issues.
yeah.